Here we have two graphs. One of them, they show the same information. And so let's take a look and see what makes them the same or different. This first, they're both circle graphs. This first one has the actual salaries, it looks like, entry-level salaries for 541 people. And the second circle graph, or pie chart as it's also called, has 541 people still, same salary figures, but it also gives you a percentage for each of them. So let's answer some questions and try to figure out which way is the most informative to do the pie chart. The first question, how many of the starting salaries were $30,000? So if I look at the chart on the left, I see the chunk is 30,000 is this teal colored chunk right here. And it looks like maybe it's about a fourth of the graph, but I can't be sure. And so if I was using just this pie chart on the left, I would have to say a fourth of those 541 salaries were $30,000. Now, if I look at the pie chart on the right, I can see 30,000 has 21%. So that's a lot more specific for me because I don't have to estimate based on the shape of the pie slice. I can get the exact percentage. So that the pie chart on the right tells me 21% of those 541 people surveyed had a salary of 30,000. If I want to find how many of the starting salaries were 30,000, then I can take 21% of those 541 people that were surveyed and find the number of people who had a salary of $30,000. So to do that, I have a couple of methods. I can use my calculator and find 21 and use my percent button here, remember, the 21%, and I can do the 541. I get 113.61. And since we're talking about salaries and how many of the people surveyed or the professions surveyed had a starting salary of $30,000, we could round that to the nearest profession. 114 of the professions had a starting salary of $30,000. The other way we could do this is to convert 21% into a decimal, so 0.21, and multiply that by the 541 professions that we surveyed and get the same 113.61. So it's whichever way you're more comfortable with. What percentage of the starting salaries were above 25,000 in this study? So if I look at this, I can see if I'm using the pie chart on the left, above 25,000, there's this category and this category, and I can see it's maybe about half. And if I use the pie chart at the right, I hope you're noticing that giving those percents makes our lives a lot easier. Same two categories, but I can quickly add up the 2%, and since I have 21% and 27%, I can add those two and get 48%, and I can say 48% of the starting salaries were above 25,000. The last question, can we state that most jobs in the study had starting salaries over 25,000? And if I look at the percentage, it's only 48%. That's not half. That's not quite half. 50% would be half. And if it was over 50%, I could say most jobs had a starting salary over 25,000. But because it's not over half, I have to say no. So less than half of the jobs in the study had salaries over $25,000.